Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and Happy Holidays to all of you out there. I thought I would uh, publish a little bit of a helpful tip and a helpful tool for you for the holidays. I've taken some time to uh, put the show on the back burner during the holidays, so I don't have any episodes coming out this week. That'll be coming back the first week of January. We'll do a New Year's episode and a look ahead to 2019. But just to keep you going, I'm going to show you what I do in the classroom with PinkTrombone, which is a really, really cool free doodle on the internet where you can show kids how their voice works and the anatomy of the vowel and resonance. So check it out, play with it. When your kids come back in January, you're going to have this new and exciting tool to use. I hope you enjoy. Okay, folks, this has become one of my favorite tools for getting kids to understand, both in a choir class and in a voice lesson, the anatomy of the vowel and the anatomy of resonance. So I'm going to point out some things here that are on this very simple, very free tool that you can all use. So if you're listening on the Patreon only episode, this little portion is going to be published for the audience at large. Only you patrons will get to hear the rest of it. So for everybody else, if you want to hear the rest of this, just check out patreon.com/choralosophy. You can find this free tool at dood.al and then /PinkTrombone. So that's where that's where I'm operating. It's just a free little doodle. And shout out to my student, I won't name her, but one of my 10th grade girls in choir found this for me, as you heard me talk about probably on the episode with Dr. Quist. There was an I'm bored button on her Chromebook at school, and she clicked it, and it cycled through things that she might be interested in, and she came across this and showed it to me, and I use it now all the time. So that was a few months ago, and it just completely revolutionized, in a lot of ways, how my kids understand this concept of, and also how I'm able to explain to other people the anatomy of the voice and of the vowel. So I'm going to point out a couple things. All of the pink that you see here is open space. Okay, so of course it's an oversimplification of the mechanism. Up here in the nasal cavity, it's not hollow, as you might know. It's a porous bones and all of that, but at least it shows the student where the resonance happens. These skinny lines through the open space are going to show you the resonance that is being created as it starts to make noise. I'll show that in a minute. Then you have over here some labeled parts. You have the soft palate, the hard palate, the lips, so top lip, bottom lip, tongue control. Watch this. All right, you can move it to all the different possible configurations. Imagine what that would. Oh, there's the tongue touching the soft palate. We're going to get a pinched off sound. Okay, up here you can move the voice box around. And manipulate some resonance things there. But for the purposes of this, here's what we're going to play with. Watch. If I can do, you can tell that the person who created this is not English as a first language speaker, which is fine. So the always voice button will turn the voice always on. Okay, so the first thing you might notice about that sound is that it's breathy. There's some air whistling through this tube back here, and it's kind of a collapsed, what we would call, and this is another probably topic of a different episode, many choral conductors would incorrectly diagnose that sound as a collapsed soft palate. Listen. When in reality, the soft palate barely moves. Like it does have some mobility, but barely. What's really going on, as you can see here, is that the tongue is too far back in the mouth. There's base of tongue tension. You get the vowel like that. Good. There we go. That goes. Resonance back. Now you can see, with that more pure ah sound, the vibration inside the resonating cavity just goes crazy, right? Watch. Right there is the tongue position for probably the most the most resonant of the ah sounds. You can hear it, but you can also see it in the vibration. And if I move the tongue to here, what will we hear? And it's the resonant kind, as you can see here. It's vibrating like strings. Now watch what happens here. You can play with all kinds of things. And there's the nasal sound. See this? The hole opens up in the soft palate, causing vibration from here. And then we have a humming sound. Our most open vowel sound, eh. You can see the shape of the tongue for with the kids. This helps them a lot, releasing tongue tension by visualizing how dead the tongue is for eh, as the most kind of dead of all tongue positions. And you can do stuff like this. The pitch wobble kind of makes it sound more like a natural singing sound, a vibrato sound. Now notice we haven't dealt with anything over here yet, so I'm going to show you what happens. So if the lip, you can manipulate the lip to create some different vowels. And one thing I'll point out, and this is just basic voice science stuff, that the vowels that we can get to resonate in this oral cavity without moving any lips at all, and this of course also assumes that the resonating cavity is staying in the same position, so that means the jaw is also not moving. E, and ah. It helps kids really understand that those three vowels are tongue vowels. They are, for the most part, only tongue vowels. And of course, many students, every student's body is different, so there might be some jaw manipulation that has to happen, but there is no lip manipulation that is required for E, or ah, or any of the other slight permutations of those vowels, like A. Okay, so you get those 3 or 4, depending on what language family you're living in, vowels. Then we get to manipulate the lips. You hear that German kind of open umlaut there with the in the lips and the in the tongue. That's another way to kind of show this. You get something like an O. Now, of course, again, this is an oversimplification. So all we can do is close the lips. We can't control the pattern of how round they are in this. You also get the nasal sounds labeling coming out of here, and you can get fricatives. Yeah. So just to give you an idea, and you can play with this for an hour and just have a blast with it and allow kids to do it. And here's one activity that I do with the class, the choir class and a voice student, is I will turn the sound off and start to quiz them. What tongue position is this? And they'll start to shout out ah, e, a, eh. And it gives them the ability to picture inside of their head. And they also are taught that if they don't have space between the space at the back of the jaw, then all of those vowel shapes won't fit inside of that space. So it's a really, really good way for them to visualize and understand what's going on inside of their head when they sing. Hope you enjoy playing with Pink Trombone.